There are about 5,000 people that take slavery in hip-hop. Well, I just go around the country doing exhibits, sharing our history with
That's what's up. I've been in the Mobile Museum and I love it. I saw a Chromatic CD by the late great MC Pooh and Dogmatic, and I was like, I'm on this CD. I'm on the skin. So that's what's up. He got a lot of different elements of hip hop, rare flyers from back in the day when you see a hip hop show. I love it.
It's all about promoting our history, our legacy, because if we don't do it, who will? Somebody else is just on our story.
That's right. That's an important element. Know your history, know how to be part of the community. We're doing it today. The 5th annual Back to School with Live Backpack Giveaway and Family Sunday. FBMixRadioMedia.com. That's what we do.
The great Dr. Tingle Fingers. All right, go on and do it to him, Doc. This next brother is from the Bass Galaxy. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from the deepest reaches of space, the brother on the bass, Jimmy. Don't hurt him. Go on and do it, Jimmy. Don't hurt him, though. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we like to keep it on the one when we play our thing. From the Blue Note Galaxy, we have on all of the winds tonight, those are horns, Brother Bosco Willis, the illest, the realest. Brother Bosco Willis. There you go, Bosco. Get down there to the mic. We get into it. There we go. All right, Bosco Willis, the illest. All right, yeah, sister's coming around right on time. I'm Stromboli, the Pope of Hope. I'm gonna play the guitar, and we're gonna let you hold it for a minute. Also on the guitar, we got from the planet Rock, the Soul Gypsy, Sister Dinka.
said. Unsearchable. That's how they do.
9226 Kirkwood. Get that right. My bad, Dottie. I ain't need to cut you off. I ain't need to cut you off.
No.
Light-skinned brother.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, this way.
Ray, Ralph, Bobby, Mickey, and Mike. No. Introduce yourself.
Ray, a.k.a. Kamara Hill. Andre Kevlar Johnson.
Mr. Nice Guy, black on the inside for sure. Motor City Freeway in the building, we're good.
What brings y'all to the 5th annual backpack giveaway?
We love the babies.
Yeah,
wherever the babies at, that's where we at.
That's where you're gonna find it.
Speaking of babies.
Shout out to the water.
Y'all know why we here, because we the realest media in the whole city.
No,
so
you understand, but
where else?
Right.
That's what we do. That's how we do it. 5th annual backpack giveaway. We about to hear from DTPP Band, and we out.
Yeah.
Right. It's about 110 out here. We out here, no problem.
In the shade.
It's like 110 in the shade.
And we still performing for the babies.
Yeah. We ain't going nowhere. We right here.
And it's a monster thing to see some of the most intelligent, most powerful black men in the whole city out here doing something for the youth because they care. Not because they being paid.
None of that.
Because there's celebrities out here, but because they actually care about this cause. Shout out to my man Yusef Shakur for putting it together. Shout out to Zone 8 for hosting it peacefully. You know, it's an unbelievable thing when I see cats like Ray and Kevlar, my man Freeway. It's my brother. Me and Freeway represent a group of black men that's almost extinct in this city now. Black hockey players.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, it's an amazing thing, man.
Okay, we had an initiative for
My brothers
now.
doing their thing, man.
Okay.
You know, Black Tie Collective forever, baby.
I'm so excited.
We in the building.
Hello.
That's right, ain't nothing over there now.
Annual backpack giveaway.
They got a tow truck in my whole backyard. It broke my heart.
The baby got to take the water bottle outside by the house. You got to do that.
The
Pause
children
for the
know.
pause, right? Okay.
All of us
So
are
while
working
DTPP is playing with the band and playing in the background, we're just kicking it with the people who came to be a part of the community. How are you? How are you?
I'm gonna go over and show y'all Jimmy Don't Hurt Him. Post out the band.
I'm Greg. I came out to support Yusef and support the community and have a good time. It's a nice warm day, and you know, as my buddy Andrew was just saying, this is the kind of government that I like. You know, this is a governmental style that I appreciate. A bunch of people coming together and sharing. That's why I'm here.
This is Amina. She's being shy right now. She is the granddaughter. Can you say
The Soul Gypsy White.
She's the granddaughter of one of the directors of the organization I work at, Freedom Growers, and just really digging being here today. This is, I think, my 4th year, I want to say, being in attendance, and it's beautiful to see Yusef doing it and moving forward, and his advocacy and support and love continue to grow outside of this universe, and so just feel so grateful and blessed to be here.
August 18th.
Hey, so I'm James. I'm from North Carolina, and I came up all this way. I'm here for the summer and volunteering at the same organization that Andrew's volunteering for.
What's the organization name again?
Freedom Growers.
Oh, yeah.
East side. So came with Myrtle today and the grandchildren, and we're just here to support Yusef. And just like what has already been said, it's beautiful to see all these people coming together to support positive things happening in Detroit. So it's an inspiration for me to go back to North Carolina and try to
tell people Detroit wasn't that bad. You in the heart of the hood. Like, this is the hood. Even people from Detroit don't come in this hood. So you tell people we didn't rob you or kill you or shoot you or beat you up, right? So
Gave me free food.
Yeah, gave me free food. That's right. So look, and I keep saying hood, but that's what these t-shirts are about, and what Yusef tried to promote is stop saying hood, restore the neighbor back to hood, because saying neighborhood sounds a lot better, right? So, neighborhood, we in the neighborhood. Zone 8, there used to be a war zone around here, but Yusef is making it, he right on his mama's side of her house. That's how we do it. This is the type of government and the type of thing we do. You know, t-shirt government. Peace. fans. I love it.
These my friends from all across the globe, and especially Detroiters, y'all. I gotta show Detroit some love. We in Zone 8, y'all. So, before I introduce the person that is the reason we are here today, I have to do this. How many of y'all are here from Detroit 2012? Make some noise. So for those of you that don't know what Detroit 2012 is about, we have some flyers over there. We're doing a lot of things. We're doing work in the community. We're doing art and mural tours. We're doing discussions. We're doing a lot of things, and we party too, y'all. So make sure y'all get a flyer from back there on the table while you buying a t-shirt and you buying a book and you donating, because Yusef got the donation box over there. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Yusef Shakur. Don't clap yet. I got something to do first. We were supposed to turn our backs on you. Count down to your imminent demise, dangle you by the limbs of misdeeds. They wanted us to rate you inferior. Plagued by deteriorating neighborhoods and a convoluted history, you were never supposed to bloom from your ashes. A lot like you have been discarded like debris, deemed useless to naysayers and convictors. Yet you keep rising, clinging to vitality. You refuse to allow statistics to dictate your destiny, and the media will channel your journey. And though some shall remain loyal, others will mock your tribulations. You were fathered into maturity. Both your gift and your curse, imported from adversity. You've seen better decades, yet you thrive during the worst of them. Your best days have yet to arrive, and though some won't stick around to witness your climb or rejoice in your restoration, your destination is inevitable. You've been on the bottom much longer than most, and the bridges you'll journey won't be easy to coast, but you'll make it. And bring warriors with you, armed with devotion. They will defend your dignity and honor your namesake. You are Detroit, Mr. Yusef Shakur, the road to progression, the mirror image of endurance, and you hold the key to restoring the neighbor back to the hood. Mr. Yusef Shakur!
Everybody feel? Hey, come on, man. This is great. This is a great day in Detroit. I know it's hot, man, but it's hot love. It's care. It is, man. We need hot love. Man, this is there's a lot of things I go through a lot, but on this day, every year, it's very rewarding for me. It's the day that I feel the most proudest, because this is where I grew up at. This is literally the house I lived in. So I'm inviting you into my world, inviting you into my family's world, inviting you into my community, which is your community, to share our experience. Our experience is to grow as a community. I'm sorry. All right. I'm inviting you into my world, inviting you into my community, into my household, to grow as a community. This is Zone 8. But this is a different Zone 8 with what the media will tell you. This is a different Zone 8, what has been written in history, where we're changing that each day by what we do. This is a very historical day. Why? Because we're instituting peace in our communities. Many of us have conversations, not only Detroit, but New York and Oakland and California, about what peace is. We're showing and demonstrating what peace is. It's important that we understand that we have to demonstrate to our communities what peace is. In demonstrating peace, we have to bring peace to our blocks. Bringing peace to our blocks is creating atmospheres and events that allows us to love ourselves, allows us to care for each other, despite the circumstances that we go through every day. We transcend those circumstances by doing what we're doing today. We're saying those circumstances will no longer control us. We will no longer be a product of our environment, but our environment will be a product of us. You have people from all over Detroit. You have people from all over the country. Some people from around the world, right here in Zone 8. Channel 2 is not here. Channel 4 is not here. Channel 7 is not here. Why? Because they don't want you to see this side of Detroit. If this would happen in Royal Oak, they would have been there. If this would happen in Oak Park, it would have been first thing on the news. We have to tell our own stories. And telling our own story, we got to take this back to our blocks. And telling our story, we have to up the ante of the value of our lives. And up the ante, we have to up the ante on Dave Bean. Because this is coming from the block. If the mayor can't do this, why are you the mayor of Detroit City? If the pastor that you go to every weekend, if he can't do this, why is he going to his church or her church? The guy you elected last year as a city councilor, if he cannot do this, why are you continue to vote for him? Because when we do this, we come out of our own pocket. If we want change, if we want things to be better in our community, we have to do it ourselves. We can't continue to wait on other folks to do for us what we can do, because we're our own saviors. So the hope that you have from me is the hope that I have in you. The strength that you have in me is the strength I have in you. I am nothing without you. Sure, there's dynamics that exist in Detroit, but today we're putting those dynamics to bed. Why? Because we got white people here. We got black people here. We have all types of people right here in Detroit. Building, loving, caring. Because when you talk about giving, when you talk about supporting, race goes out the window. Religion goes out the window. Why? Because those things are abstract in a larger context of the world that we live in. Now my homeboy Squeak came up earlier. There was a point in time, and we was joking, because now I go to his area to get my hair cut. The barber shop is right around where he stayed at, where at one point in time, I would have been a mark to get killed or get beaten. I go in there, close my eyes, and let the barber cut my hair now. That's change. It's positivity within our communities, despite the circumstances. I know many of us are going to go back to our blocks, and a lot of guys are doing different things. But if you're selling dope in your neighborhood, you're an agent of oppression. If you're coming from Midtown, if you're coming from Courttown, and if you're not challenging those people to help the other communities, then you're doing a disservice to the whole city of Detroit. We cannot continue to have these lopsided communities and think that we're going to have a strong Detroit without strong neighborhoods. We cannot have a unified Detroit without unified neighborhoods. The neighborhoods are essential to a strong city. A guy put on Facebook the other day and asked the question, what would you like to see downtown? First of all, that's a stupid question. That is a damn stupid question when you see what's going on in the neighborhoods. Downtown don't need nothing more. Your neighborhoods need something. It's essential that we invest in our neighborhoods. Investing in the neighborhoods, we're investing in the people. And we have to understand the power that we have. And today reflects that power. Reflects that power of brown people, black people, of white people. That's what it means by saying power to the people. We have 500 backpacks over there. This didn't come from no major sponsor, Walmart or Kmart or anything like that. This came from the people. 5 years consecutively. In each backpack we have 3 to 4 books that was donated by WDET. So this is where we understand the importance of this right here. If we're saying this young guy here is our future, and if we're not securing it today, we're wasting our future. So it's so important, man, that we do things in the neighborhoods. I can't stress that enough. Because if you're talking about being a community organizer and you're not working in the community, how can you be a community organizer? If you're not building relationships with the people that needs the help that you're talking about, how can you call yourself an activist? Because before you're an activist, you're a man first. You're a woman first. You're a human being first. Those things are essential to who you are. And those things are going to drive you to be who you are. But if you're going to put on some clothes just for the media, just to look good, people in the neighborhood are going to read that. Understand the importance of for my young son to see what his father can do versus what he heard what his father used to be. Because when I used to walk out that door right there and look to the right, it was guys selling dope. When I looked to the left, it was guys gang banging. That helped shape my mentality of being a gangster in my community. Because I was a nigga with an attitude long before NWA put out a record. I was a thug on the block long before Tupac said thug life. Why? Because those things was nurtured in us in our communities. Why? Because we have lacked the support of supporting our families. We have to support those mothers. We have to support those fathers. Because they are the real activists. They are the real activists that's fighting every day, tooth and nail, to make sure there's food on the table, that rent is paid. Some of them are selling their bodies, some are selling dope. But they're fighting for their humanity. But we have to help them understand that fight that they're fighting has to be a better fight and not destroying themselves. Because what's the point of saving the world or securing the world and you lose your soul in the process? There's no peace in that. There's no victory in that. So it's important that when you look at these backpacks, there's love in those backpacks. There's commitment in those backpacks. There's dedication in those backpacks. There's peace in those backpacks. This is what we have to demonstrate every day of our lives. No, there's no one in this audience that doesn't go through a situation where you feel like knocking somebody up the head or you feel like cussing somebody out. But today, what we want to institute, take the moment to step back. Is it really worth it? Is this really my enemy? Is he or she really worth killing? Cutting this person? So we have to understand the connection that we have. But without that connection, it's easy to kill somebody. It's easy to treat somebody as they're nothing, because why? You feel like you're nothing. We have to transcend that. And this is what an event like this does. This helps sustain our community. But I challenge each and everybody that comes in this community that there's a community across the bridge that needs the same thing. There's a community across the boulevard that needs the same thing. There's a community on the east side that needs the same thing. And it's just as simple as we've done it here, we can do it throughout the city. That's what this Summer 12 is all about. That's what Detroit Summer is to be able to show that we have the power to instill within ourselves to live and act and be human beings. To imagine ourselves as human beings, to imagine ourselves out of the plight that we are in. That's power. You don't get that out the sky. You don't get that out the Bible. You get that within you. That source of power is within each and every one of us. And as each and every one of us connect to that source of power, we become more powerful. Right. And we become more powerful. We're no longer this, but this mighty fist. And being this mighty fist, we can knock anything down in front of us. It's important that we understand that, man. I also want to take the time to thank everybody who out here that got all the emails and the text messages and the Facebook messages about nominating me for the best community leader with Steve Harvey, where we made the finalists. Again, it's not about me, this is about us. It shows the power of who we are. Because when cats see me on the news, they see themselves. Because somebody from my block, somebody that I grew up with, is doing something positive. We all want to do something positive. We all want to be positive. But to know that somebody that I can talk to, that I can touch, is so important that it makes them feel better about themselves. That's what keeps me humble. That's what keeps me grounded. That's what keeps me motivated. Just in the last month, I lost two friends of mine Roger, he was 19 years old. No, Roger was 20. He was murdered. Many of y'all knew Roger. He came to the event. It was a tragedy. Then shortly after that, I lost a very close friend of mine, Kenwood. He grew up a couple blocks. He was sentenced to life. He had served 20 years. He had caught leukemia. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell a lot of people. He had fought it for 8 months. And it tore me up when he died. Why? Because to the world, they treat us as menace. But we're human beings. We're human beings, that grew up with our fathers. We're human beings that grew up with mothers that loved us, but didn't have the right resources to help us. So the streets co-parented us. And by the age of 17, I was 17, he was 16, we was on our way to prison. But if you change that course of who he was, he could have been a basketball player, I could have been a doctor. That destination could have been different if we do what we're supposed to do as a community. The reality, we're failing, or we have failed many of the families, in particular the youth in our community. And I challenge everybody, please stop using the youth as a scapegoat for violence. Stop using them as a scapegoat as to write them off as they are the architect of violence. They are surviving in a violent culture. And this violent culture has helped shaping them to be violent. But more importantly, they're damaged human beings. They're damaged within inside of them. So stop using language as at-risk youth. I know it sounds fine. For many of you who work in the nonprofit world, it's good to say that, I'm working on behalf of at-risk youth. But they're at-risk youth because they're growing up in at-risk communities. I know it's popular to say that trouble youth. It sounds slick, it sounds profound, but the reality, they're troubled youth because they're living and surviving in troubled communities. But the greater reality, for you to use that language and not do a goddamn thing to change it, to continue to make money off them, you're a fucking failure. You're a disgrace to our community. You're a disgrace to our youth. And we have to stop treating our struggle and people in our community as a commodity. Again, if you won't change, and if you're not willing to come out your pocket with the money to buy the basketball court, with the money to buy the school supplies go in this bag, what are you talking about? If you continue to wait on this grant from Skillman, you continue to wait on this grant from the Knight Foundation, you continue to wait on this grant from the Kresge Foundation, you ain't doing nothing but being pimp, man. You ain't doing nothing but pimping yourself and pimping your community. Because a grant is only good as a grant is written. If anybody hip to the game. If anybody hip to the game, you sit down for a couple of days, for some folks maybe a month, you go over it a couple of times to make sure it's written and it says what these folks wanted to say, and then they put the handcuffs on you. They put the handcuffs on you and you tie behind your back and you say, go save your community now. And you got all this paperwork you got to do, and if the paperwork ain't right, they're going to pull your money. Without the money, you can't have an event like this. Well, we're showing you today you can have an event like this without a $100,000 budget. But it impacts people as if we had $100,000. It's imperative that we understand that, man. That this is not about me, but this is about us. Each and every one of us. Today, tomorrow, on and on. And the more we understand that, the more we realize the power of who we are. Everybody knows what goes on in our community. We know what blah, blah, blah doing and blah, blah, blah doing, man. We have to step the game up, man. Some guys, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but we have to create zones for our community where peace is a priority, while love is a priority. There's the days of just doing whatever in our communities has to come to an end. And who does that? Men and women. I remember I was talking with a group of young men a few months ago, and I told one of the young men, that a person who is motivated by principle will go up against an AK-47. And the young guy looked at me and shook his head. Man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I ain't going against that. But I know I will. I know when the guy tried to move next door to my house and open up a crack house, I said, dog, you can't do that right here. You cannot do that right here. Go do it where you stay at. He started talking this penitentiary lingo, so I started talking that penitentiary lingo back with him. I've been there, man. That doesn't mean nothing to me. At the end of the day, you're not going to do that on my block. You're not a punk. You're not less than me, but you're a human being. You're going to respect me as a human being. And once we stop doing those things, we have become disconnected in our community. We have to institute principles of peace, principles of love, principles of hope that will institute us to behave and think and act as neighbors and as a neighborhood. That's what this is about. And if you're not studying, if you're not reading, if you're not doing the research, why are you doing it? Because without that, you have no analysis of what's going on. You know, just to jump out here and help somebody, that's great. That's being a good human being. And that's what it's about. Helping the lady across the street. Open the doors for somebody. We need more of those people in our community. And less of the problems will exist in our community. You know, challenging the young men, because they're looking for guidance. They're looking for an elder person to talk to them. But stop being afraid of them, because really you're afraid of yourself. Because you know that you have failed them, just like you was failed. So until we begin to heal ourselves, peace will exist in our community. Because we can't have peace in our community until we have peace in our hearts, peace in our mind. And that would demonstrate the peace that's necessary to have events like this every day in Zone 8, on Mack and Bewick, on Dexter, Linwood, wherever. This just doesn't have to occur in Royal Oak. This just doesn't have to occur down the river, anything like that. This can happen in Detroit. And we're showing and proving right now that this can happen in Detroit. It's so important that we understand that we begin to wrap our arms around each other. We have to stop allowing ourselves to be caught up in this suspense of undevelopedness and think that we're developed. We have to challenge the third world conditions that are existing in our community. If you're sleeping with a guy that's full of shit, you become full of shit. If you're a dad or a father that's not taking care of your responsibilities, you're full of shit. You're a predator. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do in your communities, man, get the hell out and let the grown men and grown women stand up and do what we're supposed to do in our community. With that, got any questions? What's up, big brother? No questions? Yes.
Can I see you on the 11th at 3 o'clock over at the Cadillac Building?
I can't give you a concrete answer right now. Let me evaluate, see what I got on that day. But I'll put it on my calendar.
It's about taking out all the emergency managers.
Most definitely. I mean, the thing also we have to realize, we want everybody to be at everything, but are we utilizing people to really be effective in what we want? We have to bring strategy to the table, besides also bringing people. So I just want to throw that out there. I have no problem showing up in anything. But more importantly, while we're there, we have to make sure that we're getting the best out of the people that's there. And once we leave there, we know what's the next thing that we're going to do. Nobody has any questions? Well, today I had planned on making an announcement. I've been going back and forth over this for the last 6-7 months. I've talked to people privately, locally, across the country, and I decided to create an explorative committee to run for city council next year. Many people ask, say, why would you want to do that? For me, it's about the people. If people want change in our community, then we have to get behind those. It's not the question, am I ready? The question is, are you ready? to elect a Yusef Shakur. You know, people ask me what is my program, or what are those things, or you have to get that together. We need to get that together. We need to decide what we want our city to look like, not me. That's dictatorship. That's the same old. More also, in the process of deliberating this, many folks I talked to, they said, well, Yusef, you need at least close to $100,000 to run for office. And the reality of most folks who run for office, we just took up a collection. We probably maybe got a little less than $200. That's not going to impact on that $100,000. So more than likely, that tells me I need to go to GM, I need to go to Mike Illich and all these folks before Mayor Bean, or Bean before he was mayor, and get them to donate for my campaign. And as they donate for my campaign, I'm really working for them. And I come back to you and I ask you for your votes. So these are things that I want to be able to challenge. If you want someone in city council, are you willing to get behind that person? You've seen what we've been able to do on people power. Let's use real people power, and being able to affect change. The reality, if someone goes in there, you have to work with 7 other people. So you can't go in there and make decisions. But also, we have to stop looking at city councilmen or any politician as some fucking savior, as a Jesus Christ. They're not. Most men and women who run for office, they write up a whole bunch of stuff, and because they know that you want this in your life, in your community, and they play on your emotion, on your goodwill, as if they can do that. They make promises that they know damn well it's impossible. I mean, a city council person's job, and the bare minimum is to vote on the budget. It's not to call for me to have the police come here. That's not in the job description. But how many we open and honest to tell you that? Many are going to tell you whatever you want to hear to keep you voting for them. Again, we need honesty. We need integrity. You've seen what we can do as a community, as a people. So that's the reason I've decided to create this exploratory committee to run for office. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to go within there. Same way when the first day I stepped in prison, I was not afraid. But I came out better. Because I went in there and fought. And I fought for a better me. And that better me I would take within city council as a representation of my community. Thank you. I'm Yusef Shakur.
Speaking of mothers, like I said, we're doing this right in the neighborhood, next to Yusef's mom's house. Here she is, Miss Ava. So this is how I had to stand in between them to break up the twins, so y'all wasn't seeing double vision, because they look just alike. No, that's her baby right here. And this is the man of the hour, the man of the day, Yusef Shakur. We want to thank you. We want to say, keep doing what you're doing. Whatever gas you need to keep this fuel going. We want to know what it is you need to keep doing this and inspiring people to just, make a change, but in their own lives and around us. Any words, anything to say? He's about to say a lot in just a second, as a matter of fact. So let's talk to Mama Ava. Mama Yusef. What do you have to say about your son? A whole lot.
Well, I don't know where to begin, but he took me through hell and high water, but he done calmed down now. And I'll really be proud of him when I get my mink coat. That's all
right. See, just like a mama. Just like that's how our mamas is and our aunties and grandmamas. We gotta do that, gotta get she didn't even say the house. Like I just want a mink coat. The 313, we got those kind of treacherous winters where we need to do that. It's a little hot today, but we gonna need that mink coat. Let's get mama a mink coat. Let's get these backpacks out and let's do this for the community, for the neighborhood. That's what makes me. Let's see. A question. What do you think about today?
I think today is fabulous. I think today shows and highlights that we know there's positivity in Detroit. There's human beings in Detroit. They demonstrate that in one of the most quote-unquote violent areas. Here we are, peace, no cussing, no dope selling. If we want peace, we have to demonstrate what peace looks like. So when people leave here today, they have a visual understanding to take peace back to their block, back to their households, their churches. Even though we did it in one community, this is one community at Detroit.
And like he said, you gotta peep his lingo when you catch him in the interview, when you catch him speaking. And he didn't say he wants people to understand, he wants you to overstand what's going on. So overstand what's taking place today. 5th annual Back to Cake giveaway presented by Yusef Shakur, helping our prisoners elevate.
Let me ask you this, what keeps you motivated and how long are you going to continue this great thing that you got started here?
What keeps me motivated is serving my community the way I'm with someone that served it when I was younger. I'm going to keep it going as long as God grants me air to breathe, grants me the ability to keep getting up every day. I know I didn't have this in my youth. I know my mother didn't have this in her community to support her. It's essential to do things like this to build a community. We hear a lot of people talk about fancy words of what community looks like and what that looks like, but very few people are actually demonstrating and showing. This is a guy from the block, from Zone 8, comes out of my own pocket. This demonstrates my commitment. So it's up to ante for Mayor Bean. It's up to ante for all these pastors. Up to ante for the city council. If you got a guy off the block, this is what he can do. Why you ain't doing it?
Oh, beast, like we can say. You know, so with that, like his mother said, he didn't start off as a perfect young man. He took his mama through hell. I took my mama through hell. We all did. But guess what? We can make a change. We get a clue one day, and this is what we demonstrated today.
Thank y'all for coming out, man. I mean, we got to...
Sound like this is Russell Simmons over here. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace. Good night and God bless.
No, we got to show our own media, man. We can't wait on 2 Fox, 4 and 7 to highlight the positivity, because they never show it. They don't want us to think that we can do these type of things. You know, if this was happening in Royal Oak, they would be there. This is happening in Oak Park, they will be there. So we understand that the mass media wants us to live like savages. So we're showing that we're not savages with today.
All right, he's from Zone 8, so get his,
We say Zone 8 because it's the last digit of the zip code here, 48208. So this is Zone 8. We have a Zone 8.
That's what it is. It's over 20 years old. It's in my life. It's in my blood. Anything this man's done for the community, just believe I'm here for it. 5 years straight we're doing this now.
So let me ask you this, growing up in this neighborhood, what do you like, what do you think about something like today where you see everybody just together, you know?
This is a beautiful outcome. We want to make it bigger than this every year, each year and every year. This is a beautiful outcome. We're not listening for violence, not hearing no gunshots go off. Matter of fact, it might be a few of the OGs around the way making sure it's not jumping off like that, low key, you know what I'm saying? But we want to make sure this is a positive function every year, and we intend for it to get bigger each year and every year. And we need more men out here, such as my man right here, Yusef, to keep this thing going. And many more as generations to come. If something happens to us, who else that we have to look forward to make this thing happen, continue on? So I strongly urge everyone, youth and all, be a part of this every year. Look forward next year too.
Since you've been doing this, have you seen a difference in the youth in your neighborhood?
Most definitely. The difference is they see someone cares. They see that they can be in the care about themselves. It's true that it's still some struggle, but it's a process. It's been 11 years in the making. Those 11 years I've been home, from the bookstore to here. It's about being a community. It's about showing them firsthand what a community looks like. Not talking about what a community looks like, showing them what a community looks like. And they know that.
As a media person in this city, what do you think that you don't see like 2, 4, and 7 out here covering this type of positive thing going on in the neighborhood?
It's funny. We came up with the slogan, the movement. We had 2 media groups in Detroit jack the slogan, but we're the only ones here. The bottom line is they don't care about the people in the communities in the city of Detroit. They want our assets, they want our land, they want our water, but they don't care anything about the people. So when you see a brother like Yusef put together a multicultural event, a multicultural event that's aimed at doing something positive for the kids, they want no part of that. They want no part of it. Because if they show this man in this situation, the city might begin to believe in cats like Yusef. And then if cats like him get in positions of power, all the game is over. So you're not going to see those guys out here. And my thing is, I want to personally challenge all these other people that are starting media companies, internet radio stations. Get your ass out here. Where are you at too? Because I hold you responsible too. It's not just about how good you can give head and entertainment and all this stupid stuff. Get your butts out here too. I'm out here in 90-degree heat because I believe in this cause. That's simple.
Do you have any plans on running for office or anything like that in the near future, just because, you know, you keep working in the community and this is where our officers come from, the community?
Definitely. We're in the plans of looking to run for city council next year. Okay. So at an at-large seat as well. A lot of people who I'm talking to, they say you need to go for a district. Detroit is mine. Detroit is us. So I want to go in as not just as a district, but as a Detroiter. So we definitely looking to make that happen in 2013. But the question is not, am I ready? The question is, the people ready? Is the people ready to get behind Yusef Shakur? And get behind Yusef Shakur is get behind them, because I represent them. But they have to see that within themselves.
Any parting words you just want to leave everybody with?
Restore the neighbor back to the hood. Love you all.
Restore the neighbor back to the hood.
Look, I'm a West 7 Mile brother. I want to thank Zone 8 for hosting me properly.
Right.
Nothing but love out here. It's a beautiful community, a bunch of beautiful people, great kids running around. Man, unbelievable.
Come on, Shakur.
Shout out to my man, Dr. Big. Come on in, man.
For sure. This is right. This is brotherly love right here.
So, Shakur, what do you think of what's happening today?
That's beautiful. It's a representation of what we studied when we was in the joint, like nearly 20 years ago, when we talked about doing events like this. So just to see it come full circle is like the most amazing thing in the world. A lot of people talk about it. My comrade, he's been doing it, holding us down for years, you know what I'm saying? So to come out and get home and be able to support him and what he's doing, it's like one of the most amazing things. So it's just all love.
If you would have had something like this going on in the neighborhood when you were growing up, would it have made a difference? Like, how would it have impacted you and the guys that you grew up with?
I definitely think it would have made a major difference. You know, we grew up around drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? So now to have men who can guide young men in the right direction without trying to encourage them to do wrong things, I think we need these type of bumpers in the community. You know, we may not be able to save everybody, but if we get one or two young men to really understand, like, you can be popular, you can be important in the community by doing the right thing, then I think we're on the right track. So I wish we would have had something like this back in the day.
The only way to reach it is just sit yourself still till you find your own way. That's right.